Cool to you, seeing.
Thanks for burping at the start of the live. But, we're here. Maybe Spider can't hear. AK, Mr. AK, put your mom in the figure four leg lock. Friday night, you're on the Monday Night Yerrr. So this is the Royal Rumble review. We're going on. Might as well talk about it now. Why wait till Friday? It don't make no sense. So I got Jeremy Pierce, High Risk Wrestling Podcast.
Yes, I put up my review last night. Check YouTube. And I will let you know what the schedule is. Check Instagram Wednesday for the schedule for February, which shows we're going to do. But yeah, Royal Rumble.
Sounds like he has a secretary that he can organize all this stuff. Troman Reigns, he has nothing going on social media, so don't bother following him. He's just here to talk about the Attitude Era only. Other than that,
wow, such disrespect. I'm only here to talk about the Attitude Era.
Yeah, this happened. That was a thing. San Antonio, Texas, and it actually opened up with the men's rumble.
I was perfectly fine with that. I as long as keep flip flopping it. I mean, the men's rumble wasn't the first match on the card, but it was the first rumble with the year of the first women's rumble, because the women's rumble was the main event that year. So equality, right?
Equality is a thing. So who was number one in this rumble? Oh,
Rhea. It's Rhea and Liv.
What? The men's rumble.
Oh, sorry, men's. It was Sheamus and Gunther.
Sheamus was first. Gunther was second. Gunther being the Iron Man of the rumble, which is very good. I like that.
And people, please remember, number one and number two of the rumbles start the match at the same time. So if Sheamus won, he'd be the Iron Man. For the record.
Fair enough. Even though 1 and 30 were the last two people in the said rumble. Let's take some positives from this. Gunther pretty much solidified himself as just a dog. Got that dog and he's a beast. So I mean,
tangent. Quick tangent. Who will win, Gunther or Walter?
Walter, because he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Gunther was one, I love that they started with these two. Like sometimes it doesn't matter who you start, but then other times when you've got like a storyline that's been going or rivals. Remember that one year, when Taker and Shawn Michaels started the Rumble?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So that matters. So this, like, starting with them two was good.
It's a good way to kick it in a high gear.
Yeah. Just big, mighty men slapping man meat.
So that was a positive. Brock coming out and Brock not overstaying his welcome was a positive.
Well, remember the year he was feud with, remember that year he was feud when Goldberg, one of the Goldberg's returns, Goldberg just knocked him out of the Rumble. So
I know, but Brock has a tendency to spoil things, i.e. Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I mean 50-50, but I do like that pretty much the first third of the Rumble, which is just the big boys.
Yeah. That was fine. I think that's the only kind of positive pacing wise. It was fine.
No, I can find some. Ray's injured, so they just use that as the storyline for Dom taking out his dad.
Was a positive. Logan Paul was a positive.
As much as I hate the guy, he was a positive.
And Ricochet probably had the best spot of the night.
The continuation of the Judgment Day versus Edge. Like, you can take a lot of good. There's definitely some good, and I think there's definitely more good than bad in this Rumble, for sure.
If you're picking straws, then yeah, you'll find some. I mean, some negatives on there you can't control, like no Randy, no Biggie, no Dolph Ziggler randomly. I don't know why.
Yeah, but
Karrion Kross did not need to be in the match because whatever.
He might have had the worst showing. If you look at like everybody who kind of got just unceremoniously thrown out, it fits their character. It fits Corbin. It fits The Miz and Cross was in there with the big boys. He was in there with with Brock, with Bobby and Gump, like the big and just gone.
He just looked regular. He looked pedestrian as Dylan Brooks would say. Uh, Other than that, Bobby guys looks on Lashley. Bobby guys looks on Lashley. Bobby guys looks on Lesnar. Cody wins. LOL. I mean, we already knew that. So solid Rumble, better than last year's Rumble. Last year's Rumble was a pretty stale. So
I I thought both Rumbles were good, but I think that the main difference you're going to see is that at least with the men's Rumble, you have men in there that you can say conceivably could win it because of how they've been booked. So if Bobby won, it wouldn't shock me. If Brock won, or hell, even if
Gunther won.
Gunther won, or Drew, or Sheamus, or Finn, because they built these men all up right. And I do like that ex-con Don was one of like the final 5 or 6 people.
Yeah,
Like,
that was good. I didn't like what now. Did Kofi botched or is he legit hurt?
it's just the second in a row he messed up and he kind of hurt himself, and they didn't even like show it, replay it on the cameras or show it.
Yeah, and then also Booker T getting eliminated from the middle rope. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And Ray
definitely hilarious.
Ray technically never entered, so shouldn't Ray? Aren't Ray and Heath Slater those 2 people? Didn't they win the Rumble?
Ray, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel. Those are your alumni for Rumble winners. So I love Booker T came out. That was actually the only legend that came out, right?
Yeah, he was the only one.
Unless you're including Edge.
Edge is Edge a full time?
No,
he's legend status, I guess. Yeah.
Funny.
At one point in the match, The Miz and Kofi Kingston was the most decorated wrestlers in the ring, and it was like 7 of them in there.
Well, just if you look at the entire, look at the entire men's roster, they are the 2 most decorated men on the main roster right now. Third is probably Ziggler.
Ziggler, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. He's not the greatest, but one of the greatest.
Yeah.
He's top 5 greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. So out of 5, what would you get the Rumble?
I get a 4. I get a 4. I give it a 4.
Yeah, 4 is great. I actually like Gunther and Cody going a little long with and actually having somewhat of a match.
Love the mini match. Take who? I think Taker. The year Taker won, and the last 2 was Taker, Shawn Michaels. They had a match.
Yeah, Batista and Cena had a little bit of a match, so that was good. All right, the UV light match, the etch and sketch match, the black light match, the Mountain Dew pitch black match, the soda's good match. Oh, another sponsorship match. No zombies in this match, but the Bray Wyatt versus the LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was no DQ, but they had one kendo stick shot in this match and a green popcorn going around. So this was something.
I wish it was longer. I wish it was like if you include the match itself was only about 5 minutes, and then the aftermath of with Bray and Uncle Howdy, that also was 5 minutes. Just combine that into the match.
Making the match better. It was a cinematic match, and that would just make it better.
I mean, did we talk about that on Friday? Like, probably should have been a cinematic match.
And what was it? A table spot, and then LA Knight hit Bray with a kendo one time, and that was it. And then Sister Abigail, LOL, and then Uncle Howdy fucking elbow drop off the scaffold.
Uncle Howdy with the Steve Blackman elbow drop.
I guess that sacrifice was worthy.
So, yeah, nothing really happened. I don't know what's going to progress from this. LA Knight's going to be a star. I want to see LA Knight versus The Miz at WrestleMania. That'd be an awesome little.
Here's my thing with this. Like, weren't we supposed to be led to believe that Uncle Howdy and Bray are at odds with each other? It's like the end game of this feud is like Bray versus Howdy at WrestleMania, right? So
Allegedly.
why is Uncle Howdy helping Bray? I'm just slightly confusing.
Edge attacking Judgment Day again. Okay, cool. I get his match at 2.5. Is whatever.
Yo, Edge attacking the Judgment Day again.
Roman Reigns, how many stars you get this match?
Give it a 3.
3 for the glow in the dark match. All right, go ahead, Journey.
I'll go with a 2 just because I truly think it could have been so much better.
So there.
Well, them explaining the rules, it really wasn't. It's just like it's like a no disqualification match, or
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what they said it
right.
was.
So, and you got on light bright clothes, and
I was actually fine with that. The neon, that was a cool visual. The hitting the table and stuff up and out. Honestly, for these kind of matches where it's just like anything can happen, they should probably follow what AEW did with the last match that I had with the JS and B. Was the I can't remember the mayhem. You know the match we're talking about where they were just fighting around the whole arena.
It's the stadium room brawl or some shit like that.
Just go all out. It really felt kind of tame. Like for the stuff they were doing.
We know it should have been a cinematic match and let Bray take a hold of it and figure it out.
Well, you could tell that wasn't really his idea. So
I guess hopefully him and creative is not bumping heads on this one. Bianca versus Alexa. Yikes.
This was more of a. It's one of those many times we see where it's not about the match, it's about the aftermath of the match. The match is just to get you there to the end.
So it's just are we getting into Bianca wins LOL story mode? Is she pulling on Charlotte because she's so good and nobody can really keep up with her in the ring?
I'm noticing a trend with the WWE in, I want to say the women. I think everybody, or even like the newest champions, everybody gets like a year of dominance where they're just unbeatable and then they lose and then it's the next person up. Because, but Bianca's dominance has been for 2 years, essentially.
It's about right.
She's going to have a third WrestleMania
main event.
So,
but I do
depending on her opponent. Hopefully, it's Rhea.
I
think our time is up at this point. It's time to on to the next one.
Well, Becky's times was up, so
Becky only held it. She only held it for at least like 6 months, something like that. 6-7 months.
She only had one moment, and that was WrestleMania, pretty much.
And she lost the Raw title to Charlotte at Money in the Bank.
Technically, she had 2 WrestleMania moments.
Which was what?
Which was the main event with her and Ronda Rousey.
Which I said.
And the other moment with her and Bianca. That's 2. That's 2.
Which she lost.
Okay, she's 1-1 at WrestleMania. No, I'm sorry, 2-1 at WrestleMania. So, she had her WrestleMania moments, she had more WrestleMania moments than Charlotte and we'll call it Mercedes Moné right now. So She had more.
She
She had
doesn't. She
more.
no. She does not. She doesn't have more moments than Charlotte. I think they're
Let's not
tied.
disrespect. Let's not do.
Charlotte defeated Ronda. Charlotte defeated Asuka, and Charlotte defeated Rhea all at WrestleMania. Mercedes only has
Sasha,
one. Mercedes only has one win at WrestleMania. One, and it was winning the tag team titles.
right?
One.
She dropped. She dropped her. She dropped the women's title to Bianca. I mean,
And that's it.
but that match was okay. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was probably the match of night one.
Yeah.
You can look great in a loss, but again, Charlotte has more wins.
I mean,
If you talk about wins wise, yes, she does.
if Sasha's one thing she can do, look great in a loss. If you look at Hell in a Cell, look at WrestleMania, look at yeah,
But she has more main events under her belt than Charlotte does. So
that's highly debatable. I
So
probably give it to
who's
Charlotte.
who's got more main events than Charlotte? Charlotte's only main event at WrestleMania
no,
twice.
she has.
Sorry, once. I'm sorry, once. Charlotte's only been in one main event, and that was Ronda. That was against Ronda and Becky. That's the only main event Charlotte's ever been in.
And Sasha
I
has the
said
one with Bianca.
And Sasha only has one, which is the one against Bianca.
no. Sasha has two.
No, she has
Yes, she
one.
does.
What
She has
main event
two.
did she have at WrestleMania?
In
What
the
main event?
no, I'm talking about main events. Period. Isn't main events. Period.
What are you? What are you including? Smackdowns, Raws, and stuff like
No,
that.
no. I'm talking about pay per view main events. Just strictly pay per view main events.
You
Which
talking about
was
you talking about her, Becky, and Hell in a Cell?
no her and Charlotte at Hell in a Cell. So
Oh,
essentially,
it's more than two. What if you count both? Okay, whatever. We're not arguing main events.
We're moving on.
What are we giving Bianca and Alexa?
It's 1.5 for me.
I'm gonna just give it a one because that match was more of a piss break than anything.
I give it.
This,
I give
this,
it
this is one of those moments where I said on Friday, Alexa's still fine in the ring, but Bianca can't
give it
carry somebody to a great match.
give it a good old piss break, but I don't want to disrespect Bianca like that. So go grab some pizza, go refill the wings, pour yourself some Henny. Make sure your seat is saved on the couch. Do what you gotta do, make a call, check on the kids, stuff like that. That was this match. So, just make sure that your house is in order. You go stretch your legs a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's a piss break, but that's about it. Women's Rumble.
I like it.
It was fine. Chelsea Green, Nia Snacks coming back. Michelle McCool coming out the crowd. Selena Vega is Jiri. And she is a voice commentator on Street Fighter 6. I wonder how she landed that. Oh, because then they didn't go through she decided not to go through the rest of the union. But that's neither here nor there.
They bribed her.
Shout to Andrew Tate. They were trying to do that with or Andrew Wang, or that was a
But
guy.
who there was somebody on this show that said I don't think they have 30 women on the roster to fill the rumble.
I'm vastly surprised that he found 30 women to do that.
Well, let's be real. First of all, they've got like 20 women in NXT alone.
Granted, but what star power? If Nikita Lyons was healthy, she would have probably been the Rumble.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring it up. Put it right in front. Put it right in front of me. Raw has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Raw has 16 women on their roster. Out of that 16, Carmella was the only one not in the Rumble. So that's 15. I'm sorry, Carmella, Alexa, and Bianca. So that's 13 women from Raw. SmackDown has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. SmackDown has 18. Not in the Rumble was Aaliyah, Charlotte. Apparently Naomi is hired, according to my sources right here.
Trish
thir-
Goose is Naomi hired or no?
and
She
Sarah
she was
Logan
still under her contract.
and
She never
Scarlett.
left.
So out of 17 women on the SmackDown roster, 4 winners. So that's 13 from SmackDown, 13 from Raw. That's 26. So Michelle
Roxanne.
And
McCool,
three
Nia
from NXT.
Jax, Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, Indy Hartwell. So I'm missing somebody, but that's 30. I got the count a little bit
Well,
wrong. So that's
13,
5 from
13 is
NXT.
26. 13 is 26. So
Yeah,
you
so
Yeah.
I messed up
That's
on
2 from NXT.
no Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, Indy Hartwell. We're all in a row. That's
Rox-
3.
Roxanne Perez is on SmackDown. No, no,
Roxanne
no.
Perez is the NXT
No,
Women's
I'm sorry.
Champion.
I'm sorry.
Goose.
I'm sorry. NXT.
he's
So
stuck, he's stuck in the attitude era. So
yeah,
don't forget.
I'm not stuck in the Attitude Era.
But
I just said the Attitude Era has the better era. So
anyway,
What?
they were
I was just watching that interview.
they were able to fill out the roster. And that's the difference between the women's rumble and the men's rumble is with all the women they haven't been booked the greatest, so you don't necessarily believe a lot of them can win.
What?
Was that for me?
I didn't mean to do that one. I didn't mean.
The women aren't booked as strongly as the men, whereas the men had at least I want to say 10 guys who believe they could win a rumble. If you look at the women's rumble, Rhea, Asuka, Bailey, Becky, and just for shits and giggles, I'll throw in Raquel. That's 5.
It was just Rhea at the end of the day. We all know Rhea was just gonna win.
Well, Asuka.
Oscar,
won already.
my 3 picks was either Rhea, Oscar, or Liv. It was one of the 3 I was gonna choose. So
And Rhea and Liv starting 1 and 2, going to the distance. I mean, it's pretty solid.
So
Listen, if not Rhea, then Bailey, and Bailey can be the ultimate like Grand Slam winner.
she just didn't have. I don't. How can I say?
Is
I
that
don't
all
think-
Bailey's missing? Is a Rumble win?
Yes.
Oh, probably if they do Queen of the Ring, the Queen of the Ring. But yeah,
she did win Money in the Bank and stuff. She won the Money in the Bank. So
Thank you for fucking on it. What do you give the
but yeah,
Rumble?
so what? Oscar, Rhea, Bailey, Becky, Raquel. Like, you see what I mean? Like the names aren't great, but I'll give you probably my favorite positive is that no more Dewdrop.
Piper Niven. The thing.
Piper, the Viper, Nevin is back. Thank God. Thank you. And I'm happy to see Chelsea Green back.
no more Dewdrop.
So what do you give the Women's Rumble?
I'll give it a 3 just because it's not that many strong, believable winners. But I still think it was a solid Rumble. Told a couple stories here and there. So I'm surprised Beth wasn't in the Rumble.
Beth had her spot, but
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I give it a 3.
I give it a 4 because I mean the spots were well correlated. I mean,
coordinated.
whatever spots they had they were great. They it looked like they belong in the match. So
Fair enough.
But the one thing I do hope continue pushing Killer Kana. That's all I need.
Killer Connor.
Killer Kana.
Killer Connor is crazy.
So
all right, so main event: Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. How you feeling about this match?
it's a good match. They weren't going to have a bad match. Match went about almost 20 minutes, but we know what we're really here for to discuss. So the match in and of itself was good. I love that they pushed essentially this was like Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? Kill Steen, kill, keep fighting. That's what I got from this, and they just need to keep this edge with Kevin Owens. Just keep this edge. No Adam Copeland.
Solid match. Extraordinary ending to the match with the continuation of the bloodline story.
Bro, he first of all, right, I hope Kevin Owens' head is okay.
Super kick after
No,
super kick after
no,
super kick.
not even that. His head bouncing off the corners of the steel steps before we even get to that. Like his head, but
it's not the first time I see him take that spot. So
but the aftermath, beautiful,
great stuff.
Like people need to remember, this has never been about Sammy. He's just a means to an end in the storyline. It's always been about Jey Uso.
So I seen people online say they see something new every time they watch this. So you see when Roman PTSD from getting hit in the back, just like how he got hit with the Seth Rollins thing. So another thing, them squaring up. It's like, I own this. You gonna own this ring. You go back doing that jackass shit. That Jey Uso's performance, masterful.
Man?
What you doing? You was my brother, man. You saw Jimmy just wind up for the super kick. He's just like,
well, and see that's there's so many layers to this. It's like, okay, all right, so we've seen for weeks and weeks and weeks, Sammy's starting to question facially, you know what I mean? And sometimes, questioning Roman, right? And we see it in this match, end of the match. He's had enough. And as much as Kevin Owens is a scumbag, Kevin Owens has been a scumbag. Him and Sammy are still, you know what I mean, brothers, just like how they've done with Sheamus and Drew, how they used to do with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. At the end of the day, they're still family. And he sees Kevin Owens get hurt. He hits, here's the thing. He hits Roman with the chair, but it's the aftermath of that. He doesn't apologize to Solo or Jimmy. He apologizes to Jay, the brother that hated him. But Jimmy, who liked him from the rip, and he had the handshake, was the first to kick him. And then it's like Jimmy and Solo only accepted Sammy because Roman accepted Sammy. And then it's like, well, why does Jay walk away? Jay walks away because he remember how Jay ended up joining the bloodline. Roman beating on Jimmy in front of Jay and beat Jimmy so bad, Jay gave in. And Jay kept getting gaslighted. And Jay walks away because he saw himself in Sammy. He saw Sammy do what he himself couldn't do. Like this has been going on for 2.5 years.
But it still went on like bits and pieces with Jay to prove that it's about Jay. Roman saying, "Oh, we gonna do New York tonight. You guys stay here." Like excluding Jay in certain backstage promos, like excluding specifically Jay Uso, not anybody else's. Jay Uso, oh, you gotta stay here, or you gotta do this, or you gotta do that. But still, the forefront of the matter on picking on Sammy for the most part, because you can't pick on Jay because you gotta make it very subtle of how you do that. Like they made it subtle about how Roman was looking at them shake Sammy's hand in the parking lot. And then one of the most recent things, and then this is just pretty good masterful stuff. I said the only storyline that could counter this storyline is probably Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at WrestleMania.
That's good. In the WWE or just in all of wrestling?
And WWE.
I will probably put because it was just over a long period of time. The Rock Stone Cold trilogy. how that was hung over the rock. Said you couldn't beat Austin. Austin even went evil and joined Vince just to beat your ass. So now Rock's got to go Hollywood and like. So I love like it's this storyline is so good. It is like, well, here's the thing. Obviously, Cody's beating Roman for at least the WWE Championship, right?
It's just a WWE title.
So
I think
what?
it's gonna be both. I think it's gonna be
Why
What?
both.
would it be both?
Why would it be
It
both? Because he just
Cody,
mentioned
Cody,
it on Raw.
but you gotta say Cody specifically said,
literally
"I
said
want the WWE Championship because my
He
dad."
said he just said he's challenging Roman for the WWE Universal Championship, meaning
But he's
undisputed
taking one
Universal.
belt. It makes no sense for him to take both titles.
It does in a way
You can take those.
because
This is a great way to split the championships, and then you could defend the Universal title against Jey Uso at some point, which is probably going to happen.
what
just
I'm saying.
like who beats and following social media. Jay says he's done. He's out of the bloodline. Jimmy's just like, damn. And Roman's like, you're either bloodline or you're not. This
But listen, I think the main question is when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn challenge for the tag team titles, what titles are they going to take?
so are we assuming that after this SmackDown Tag Team Tournament concludes? So we're essentially saying that the Usos are going to still go into WrestleMania with both belts, both
Yes.
sets of championships. Okay. That's a good question because they've been mentioning splitting the titles, and again, I mean, Sammy and KO are on separate rosters. It's it's going to be interesting how they get there. Um, I think essentially you can have them challenge for whatever belt, and then when the draft happens, draft one of them to the other show. Because
Now,
I don't think when they do the next draft, I don't believe they're going to put the bloodline on Raw.
now let me ask you this: do you see a match between the Usos versus Roman and Solo?
That crossed my mind. Another thing that crossed my mind is maybe even though it leaves on Kevin Owens, Sammy and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo. Solo's the wild card. Where does he fit in all of this?
Now let me ask you this: the follow-up question. Like they kick the Usos out. Do you see now if they kick the Usos out the bloodline, right? Do you see them replacing? Do you see them keeping the bloodline going with Tamatonga and Hikuleo?
I'm telling you, like I told you my story earlier. I'm telling you what I think is going to
And I
happen.
cringe when you said it earlier, but go ahead.
What I'm saying, all right, what I said was that eventually Jay comes around. He comes around, and eventually the Usos fight Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Right.
we said that 5 minutes
So
ago.
so here's the thing: the Bloodline loses all the titles at WrestleMania.
No,
Ro- Roman gets his rematch. Roman gets his rematch at the Extreme Rules pay per view or whatever. So he loses that match, and then on top of that, so he he gets kicked out of the bloodline between the Usos and Solo Sikoa. They turn on him, and then he comes back.
you
But
know
when he
you know the rule. You're not allowed to book anything.
so when he comes back, he he's more of a face. He's not a heel. He's more of a face. It's the perfect way to get him to become a face
I get
because
that, but do they replace the Usos with Tamatonga and Hikuleo?
no, the Usos will still be bloodline. They just kick him out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
They'll just kick him out, and then he'll come back as a face or something, and they'll remain heel or something. That's what I'm saying. It's the perfect setup. So I mean, you'll have to believe me, but it's the perfect setup.
This is exactly what the Judgment Day just did with Edge.
It is, but
Roman Reigns is not going to apologize for being a dick.
right. He's not going to do that. But I'm just saying he's going to come back as a face. It's they're trying to turn him
Jesus
face.
Christ.
They're trying to
It
turn him
makes,
baby face.
but you understand it makes zero sense for him to come
How
back.
you figure?
Zero.
Okay,
This is the biggest Roman has ever been in his
but here's
2
the thing.
years of being there, and he wants to keep it that way. It only makes sense to keep the character going that way. That's why I add Tama Tonga and Hikuleo to add to it. And you can make the Usos face. Making the Usos face make more sense than Roman going face.
See, the thing about Roman's character is under all the bluster and the yelling and the gaslighting, he is insecure, and he wants to maintain power. Faces don't try to maintain power.
You see him being insecure in his power when John Cena came back. Prime example.
You've seen it with every real challenge he has had. With the exception of this last feud against Brock Lesnar, you could tell he was like, I got it, I'm gonna beat Brock. But like, if you look at his feuds with
John
Cena,
Seth Rollins,
KO, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, these were men that weren't afraid of him.
and Rollins.
And Rollins, and he kept on. And Rollins probably was number one
because Rollins got his number. So I mean, Rollins, he has yet to lose. Rollins have yet to lose to him. So, well, in the big match, I think he lost to him on Raw before he tore his
they have
before he tore his ACL.
They have their scuffles. A pretty good low key rivalry. I don't know who's the best Seth rival, Dean or Roman. That's one of the.
Probably Roman.
I'm going to Ambrose. They had pretty. Their match of Money in the Bank is just ridiculous.
Are you talking about the one when Ambrose cashed in on him, or are you talking about
no their actual Money in the Bank match? Like not the cash in.
Oh yeah, when Ambrose was in there.
And their Hell in a Cell match was pretty good too. So that whole time they was feuding, not gas mask.
It's probably Dean just because after the split, Roman went and did his own thing, and it was Seth and Dean doing the whole feud.
Yeah, so, no gas mask Ambrose, no germaphobe hunk from Resident Evil Ambrose.
Man, listen, if we don't get Gas Man Ambrose, we don't get Jon Moxley.
So, yeah, well, whatever. Elimination Chamber in Canada. We know the U.S. title is going to be the Chamber match. We know Roman's probably going to face Sammy. It's in Canada. We know that.
It's not only in Canada, it's in Sammy's hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
That's a nice hometown you got there. It'd be a shame if you lost.
He probably is going to lose.
The one of the most classic hometown.
Well, let me throw this out there. Let me throw this out there. Let's say this is the perfect opportunity to get the both belts off of Roman. Sammy wins. Now he can focus on Roman and Cody. Will the WWE be bold enough to, let's say, book Sammy as Universal Champion defended against like Solo, KO, and the Usos? And Roman saying, one of y'all better win this match and bring it back to the bloodline.
No,
that sounds like an Evolution storyline.
Or you keep it strictly Solo versus Sammy. See, Solo's the wild card in this whole. He's just a like. You just point him and tell him to attack. Where does Solo fit in this? Because at some point he's going to have a mind.
I think if Sammy wins the elimination, that ruins Cody's momentum. It's just being the guy that they throw on Roman.
And Cody's got to be the first one to beat Roman.
Yep.
So okay, so if Cody's the first one to beat Roman, does that mean the Universal Championship isn't going to be defended at WrestleMania? Logically, that's what it sounds like.
I think
Listen,
both titles are going to be on the line. It's no.
logically, he loses the WWE Championship. That's it. There's no Universal title getting defended.
What I'm trying to
Telling
tell
you,
you
it
is,
makes no sense for him to lose both titles at Mania. If he loses
all right, but
WWE
look,
Championship, that's fine.
listen to what they said at the Rumble. They said when he won, he gets to challenge the champion. They never said two different champions.
Yeah,
They said the
I get
champion.
that through when Charlotte challenged Rhea. I get that. You can challenge 8 title. What I'm saying, it was certain matches where one title was on the line versus both of them.
I'm telling you, he's probably going to take both of them off of him, and
Okay.
then once he gets it, then they'll probably split them. Then they'll probably split them up.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I'm just saying, it's common. It's common sense.
I'll not common sense in wrestling do not go hand in hand.
Listen, the titles are not merged. They're not merged together.
So you just contradict yourself. They're not merged. It's no reason for them to win both of them. You understand
Because
that, right? Don't.
because
You're on the
at,
internet. Don't contradict yourself.
at the end of the day,
Here, I'm going to. I'm watching Raw on Hulu. I'm going to rewind. I'm going to go to the beginning, and I'm going to see what Cody said. Okay.
But you understand. I don't think Cody does his own promos, so I don't know if that's really feasible. But yeah,
Making me miss Candace versus EO.
you can have. We got to go off now. That was a good Rumble review. High Risk Wrestling Podcast. What's the next episode you have?
Come back. Check me out on Instagram Wednesday when I get the schedule up because I don't know yet.
Yeah, thanks. Very informative. But from range, you have nothing going on as usual. You're just on here, whatever. That's fine.
I show up whenever y'all need me to show up.
Yeah, thanks. Main Spider can't hear AK Miss AK. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Please do that. If you made it to the end of this video, we would appreciate it. And this is the Royal Rumble review, and we still probably have something for Friday Night Yerrr. So don't forget, put your mom in the figure 4 leg lock. That's all I'm saying.
Wrestling never sleeps. Wrestling never stops. I mean, AEW decided to give us Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher for free on Wednesday. Hold on.
Tell us what the Cody said. Also, does Cody write his own promos?
So he said Roman won't be the WWE the whole full thing, which contradicts what he originally see. That's we just gotta wait and see at this point.
Yeah,
I
anticipation.
mean, well, WrestleMania is not that far away, so
Don't be a prisoner of the internet. So
WrestleMania is like 10 weeks a week. Wait, because there's a whole other premium live event in between. We got a lot of storytelling to do.
right. So that event in March don't even exist.
remember Fastlane?
I remember it, but it sucks. They don't have a pay per view for March. It's just
Remember Roadblock? Yeah.
stupid, right?
So we'll catch y'all maybe this Friday. So tune in.
WrestleMania needs to go back to ban in March.
All right. Like, share, subscribe. If you made the end of the video, appreciate you. And watch Raw, and we out here.
Peace.
Good night.